welcome to another segment of Power Play Garage on this 1984 Ford F250. She said it escaped me there for a moment. And I left off last night with having the engine in, and I posted the video this morning and showing it. So now I'm going to kind of bring you up to speed as to where I'm at, how far I got after I stopped filming last night. All right. So I got both the headers completely bolted in place, and I am fixing to get underneath this truck again and get the rest of the bolts in through the transmission into the just got stabbed there a little bit, but into the block. I got to make sure like the transmission tube is bolted in there with it and anything else that's in that realm back there, and make sure that they're all in place so that when I put the bolts in, everything is where it's supposed to be. And this morning I picked up like this coolant hose right here, and then I got another one that wasn't directly made for the fact that we're looping it, because we're not going to be putting or using the heater core, because in order to replace that heater core, the lines that go in right there, you'd have to pull the dash. So the client doesn't want to do that. Hallelujah, I'm glad, because it is a job, and it's down here in Florida. You really don't need the heat, and this isn't a daily driver, so nothing to worry about there on that part. But at least the hose, matter of fact, let me show you it. And they had to order this air cleaner. Even something as simple as this air cleaner, like I mentioned yesterday, parts are somewhat a challenge to get, but I'll get them. Don't have much of a choice. So this hose will go here, right to there, and I will be able to cut it here down to there and have it go right into that spot right there. So this will work out very well. So I'll have to do some trimming on that part right there, just a little bit, and the same thing with over there. And got new clamps for it, but it'll all work out. So it wasn't made for this, but it just so happens when the manager was looking up hoses in a diameter that I needed, this one came up, and I said, yeah, that one will work. That'll work well. So a little pricey. I can't remember exactly, but I know it was a little pricey considering what it is, but nevertheless, so is everything else in the world pricey. So I'm going to get started, and Puss in Boots is down there. She's going to help. She's about to sit on my rug, and she's going to go underneath there and take a wrench to the transmission. That's her job. So until then, stand by. All right, I'm back, and I think I'm going to hit a point where a lot of guys that work on a variety of stuff has come across the way where you'd say, well, the manufacturer did it to me again, whether it's Ford, Chevy, Dodge, Nissan, it don't matter, but Ford, even to this day, has a serious habit of pretty much sticking it to the mechanic and the consumer, more the consumer, because they're the ones that end up paying an awful lot of money to get things done that normally you wouldn't have to do on a Chevy or a Dodge, that you have to do to a Ford just because of the design. So, let's Puss in Boots come over to say hello. I've come across a situation where I kind of like the idea of the dipstick tube, how they have it to where you have to screw the fitting in and to seal the dipstick tube in, where the 350 Chevy blocks, in comparison close to year, that pretty much just gets pressed in. Well, that's fine and dandy, but I do like it, but it comes with a price. And the price is, especially with headers in there, you kind of really can't get a wrench in there, and I'm going to show you. And I came up, hopefully, with a solution that I'm going to try. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Take you off the stand, and Puss in Boots. There she is. She's going to go underneath the truck with me. She feels my pain, see? She's heading underneath there, right, kitty? Yes, there you are. Alright, so I'm going to turn on the light. She's coming over to help me. She feels my pain. Now, hopefully, you can see that. You can see the black tube right in there going in there. Well, it's recessed in. It might be hard to pick up on that. And to get a wrench in there, I got it that far, but I got to be sure that it's tight, and I'm not sure, not positive. And because it involves oil, regardless, I'm going to verify and make sure it's tight. So I have enough space, height-wise, from the pan itself. So the plan is, I'm going to show you. Give me a minute. Maybe y'all can use this plan I came up with. I'm sure it's going to work. Anytime I have to fabricate a tool, it usually works. I've been offered from Snap-on one of the tools I invented. They're going to give me $500 for my invention. I said, no thanks. Yeah, they give you $500 and they make a whole lot more. So I took the vernier and I measured what the thickness was, and it basically comes out to 15 millimeter. And that was kind of tough to even get that in there, so it could either be 5/8 or 15 millimeter, and I really wanted 15 millimeter in this style right here. But it's 5/8. It's a spark plug socket. I bought the metric Craftsman. That's what someone I know calls it, but it's Craftsman, and this one is 15 millimeter. And then I bought a whole pack, Cobalt, because what I'm going to do to it, you ain't going to get no warranty out of it. So I'm going to try, actually, this is 6 point. This is a 6 point, and these are 12 points. What I'm going to do is I'm going to slice a slot right down the side, just wide enough, if not a little bit wider than the actual flat cut right here, down here, which should be more than enough to slip through the tube. And as she's doing her thing, she's shaking her head at the same time, and she agrees. So once I slice this through, it'll allow me to go over the tube, put it down on there, and take a wrench to this, which will be up higher, and I will be able to comfortably put a wrench on it, and then obviously make sure she's tight. Now, if 5/8 is too big, which it might not be, then 15 millimeter will be a little bit tighter. And then if that's the case, then I will do that. And in the event that I never need to use this again, I can still use it as a socket for spark plugs or what have you, because I'm not destroying it totally, but making it useful. So give me a moment. I'm going to cut it and give it a whirl and tell you how I make out. Okay, I'm back. And I cut it. I did use the 5/8 one with this wrench-like end. I'm sure you can see it. Hopefully you can see it. And it worked. And I used my short adjustable wrench for this side. I took a picture of it, and will be on Instagram, my Instagram page tomorrow morning, which will be Friday. But this won't come out until Sunday. But just to let you know, there are sockets that are made somewhat similar to this. And this is a custom, not custom, this is, where did I buy this from? I might have got this off of Snap-on, I'm not really sure. One of those service trucks, and it's for the Fords of all things, but they're diesel engines. Possibly the 6.0, I think. I changed so many different, actually it's in the back of the engine. I can't think of it offhand. It's been a little while. I haven't had to use it. But you can see there is a slot missing to where it does go over. It's like a pressure valve, I believe. But you have the ability, because it taps off, to use your 3/8 drive socket. It does not cut all the way through like I did with this one, so that I can get it over the steel line and be able to do it. And I was able to turn it more, and I was glad. Not a lot more, but more than enough to where I know where, okay, it's not going to leak. But just to show you, it's not like I just was a genius and thought of this, because these do exist, but not all the way through. And maybe they do make something like this. I'm not really sure. I haven't seen it other than myself making one. So I accomplished the goal. And if I decide not to use those sockets, and if I go back to Lowe's again where I got them, I can return and get my money. But in the meantime, I am keeping this, and I'm going to return this. So now to get back on that, stand by. Okay, I'm back. Actually, it's Saturday. I did work a little bit on clients' cars. I really didn't have much of a choice, but the main one of many reasons why I don't is actually behind me. It's the pool. And it had some leaks. So I fixed some, but the last one that has to be fixed, that now I'll have to wait till tomorrow to a certain product to come in so that I could put it on that side with the fittings that belong there. It's leaking through the concrete where the pipe is. That's the part where you would hook up the vacuum that's in the pool. In the meantime, that was the second one that I actually had to dig out today, and I did. And today I backfilled this one because the bottom of that strainer compartment where it gets skimmed, it was cracked. It had a crack along the edge down at the bottom. So I got this marine-like sealer, put it in there, waited 48 hours, and that fixed that problem. So today I had to fill this back in. I won't put them down until this settles better. But in the meantime, I had to move on to the second leak so that I can finish taking care of this problem. And this takes a whole day. So there's that unit right there, filled with water, clean water. But back out to the things at hand. As you know, the coupe is not 100% finished, and I've been working on the '84 Ford F250. Yep, I was underneath there doing how to be done. Took some regular pictures, been videoing it, had to pick up some more parts that you had to wait a day or whatever to get. And like I've mentioned before, and I'll probably mention again once another older vehicle comes in here, but it's tough to get parts, and I don't understand why, but it's part of the course, I guess, and that's all right. If it takes a day, it takes a week and a half, well, then that's what it takes. Nothing I could do about it. But I will be back on this again Monday. And in the meantime, I did fiddle around a little bit with this, but I also had to wait for the guy who we had do the engine come and take care of a couple of small oil leaks, one up here in the front and then one in the back, and he did that. One thing I have grown to know over the years, this particular engine builder, him and I have a good understanding, a lot of trust. And when I pay him to do a job, he does the job, he does it well. And if something fails, he comes and he takes care of it. And that to me is worth every dollar. But we've been doing a few other things like putting in reverse lights, because obviously a 33 Dodge Coupe does not have reverse lights. So we put them in, we run some wiring back in. I actually did make the latch, the receiver for that latch, and that works just great. We've been dealing with trying to get the door poppers, the electronic ones, to work. We're having a bit of an issue. I also took care of the fact, well, we thought that the power steering unit was leaking, but it wasn't that. It was that the client kept overfilling the reservoir, because when she'd see it come out, she thought that maybe it was leaking and put some more in, and then it would leak and make a mess. But we also just got another component to add, and I believe, as you can see, the top of the valve cover, that part right there, yeah, that has a little breather coming out of it, and the PVC valve is on the other side with the hose coming out of it. And what we've ordered, and actually I originally wanted and did order for my dually, the diesel, is this reservoir right here. It is for that purpose, for oil to be collected and breathe at the same time, and it would drain out of the bottom as soon as you open that. So actually we ordered two of them, one for myself and one for that car, where we will have the two lines running, one from the PVC valve right side of the engine and one from the cap on the left side of the engine, running it to this to do just that, collect it, because inside of those valve covers there are no splash guard pans. You could buy them, install them. What's the point? I don't want to take all that apart. It's actually cheaper. It saves money in the long run from taking all them off, buying those particular covers that go in there and install them if you can, and then put everything back and hope that the valve covers don't leak. So the better alternative is what I just showed you. So I've been staying busy trying to get things done. She's definitely been enjoying her misbehave. And at the same time, I've been moving along and getting that truck done. But for now, that's going to end this segment for Power Play Garage. That's right. And see, today, like I said, is Saturday. Tomorrow morning, I'll be posting this to make sure that, y'all get to see it. I'm glad it's not a very long video. But at the same time, I do appreciate people watching. And if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, make a comment, and for all of you that have not subscribed, if you would, that'd be awesome. I really would appreciate it. But until then, try to get something done. Have a great one.